AI can help marketers and leaders do a lot of things much quicker and in many cases better. But can AI be used to help with strategy? Welcome to One Amazing Thing About 99 Ravens. Today we're talking with Fab Dolan, CEO at 99 Ravens, and he's going to be showing one amazing thing about their platform with us today. Fab, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me. It's really great to connect with you, Greg.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing this in action. Before we do, why don't we start with you giving a little background on yourself and your role at 99 Ravens?
Yeah, so I'm one of the two co-founders. I was leading marketing globally for Android, and I left Google to essentially the initial idea was, can we build Grammarly for writing briefs? Most briefs have some type of error. If you work on agency side, you loathe getting the 90-page document or the 2-line email at 1 a.m. Clients, for us at Android, it was always this game of broken telephone, getting a strategy out the door. And so I left to build Grammarly for briefs, quickly realized that you can't do that. No two marketers can agree on what a great brief is. But we pivoted to something else that I'll show you today, which I think is pretty exciting.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And so before you share and share your screen and walk us through it, why don't you give us a little preview? Why did you choose this feature of the product to showcase? Who's the audience and why is it important to them?
Yeah, so I mentioned that marketing is a game of broken telephone. One of the things that the internet didn't solve for marketers was simplicity. There are 15,000 MarTech tools now. The average enterprise team is running 90 of them. And it's because every day there's a platform du jour. And within the platform, there's a feature du jour and so on and so forth. And so for building great strategy that's across campaigns, across channels, marketing is an act of, like we had one strategist talk to us about this, it's 90% getting the groceries and 10% cooking, which means I have to go figure out if there's a research report internally that helps me define the audience. I've got to cross-reference that with what I can actually buy on YouTube. There's a new ad format on Reddit, et cetera, et cetera. And that is a very complex act of broken telephone that means that your strategy gets diluted and loses fidelity. But for most people, it's actually a game of broken telephone where the other end of the line is cut, where millions of advertisers don't have an account team at Google, don't have an account team at Meta to help them. And so we took that problem and said, well, what if you could have a Google Copilot helping you on every strategy and a Meta creative strategist helping you activate on their platform, or a insights person from Pinterest, and so on and so forth. And so what we're building is essentially Notion meets Slack, but AIs from the platforms. We are codifying the platform side knowledge into AI agents that you can use to write strategy, ideate on a campaign, see if there are case studies, research, et cetera, so that we take that process of broken telephone and just compress it as much as possible so that the marketer gets to talk to the platform when they're building strategy, not when they're activating an ad.
Nice. Love it. Well, yeah, let's take a look here. Why don't you share
Let's
your
jump
screen?
into it. And I always love demoing things live and recording. So we'll see what
No
little
pressure at all,
things pop up. So we've got, what I'll do is I'll take you through like our home screen, effectively equivalent of Google Drive, where and within this demo database where you've got past campaigns that Adam has worked on, that I'm working on, and so on. And essentially we build these AI workflows around the common types like social media, content marketing, integrated campaigns, and enterprises will customize these. And you can generate briefs, but in the interest of time today, I'm just going to take you into a brief that I was working on today. And this is where you can see that that Notion, the lowercase n of Notion meets Slack, where I've got my brief on the left-hand side, and it's talking about exactly the problem that we are discussing today, which is that we have these mid-market advertisers and enterprises that want to have top-tier strategy, but they have resource constraints because top-tier strategy usually comes in the form of consultants, meetings, emails, research. All of these things are quite expensive. And so we've got the brief. These are just archetypal sections, challenges, audience insight, et cetera. And then I have the opportunity to select a Reddit brand strategist because I want to get a point of view on how to activate on Reddit. And so again, what we've done is codified Reddit for business, their content, their case studies, insights, et cetera. And we can turn these into ready-made actions. And so in this case, I want to know from the Reddit agent, what are some audience targeting tactics that I could do for this exact brief? And so the AI agent here is going to reason through that question, is going to analyze the brief, and is going to go through its repository of knowledge, memory, past campaigns, et cetera, and give a recommended approach. And so in this case, we've got tactic number one that's suggested is community-driven targeting, and tactic number two is intent-based targeting, and behavioral is the next. And so I could continue to have this conversation, continue to ask questions, and this takes that the Reddit strategist being on my team with me to write the brief, ideate, and so on, and puts them in my pocket. And I'll show you one quick thing, just so you have a better mental model of what that AI is pulling from. So in this demo database, we surfaced this, but you can see here the types of files that it's relying upon. It's PPC strategy guides, it's ad targeting recommendations, there are case studies, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. No, I mean, this looks great. And I mean, I think it to your point, it solves a number of challenges, which is, I mean, first of all, I think some marketing teams, they get really comfortable with a couple tactics or platforms or things, but don't know what they don't know about something. It's like, to use Reddit as an example, they may not be an expert at Reddit. There may be an opportunity there or not, but to be able to explore it and do it in a quick and comprehensive way seems incredibly valuable.
Yeah, and for too many marketers, like, you think about how you would get that Reddit knowledge, right? It's either, for some businesses, it's the 1-800 number and whatever you can find on the web. For others, maybe they can afford a specialist agency that's going to charge a sort of high billable hour rate for a strategy, and then you're dependent on them for execution. And even for those who might have an account team at the platforms, what the platforms have been doing over the last few years is moving more and more of their own clients and customers to scaled support, where there's one Reddit strategist there for 50 customers, 100 customers, et cetera. And even when you get support from them, it tends to be in the form of, well, okay, here's the case study that we have in the back of the kitchen here, and it's not exactly what you ordered. And so I think that this creates multiple challenges for marketers. One, obviously, the cost of support, but really more than anything else, it's lack of efficacy across all of the channels and platforms. And so what we're trying to build towards is essentially we look back on our history. Adam and I, one of our execs, there was a meeting many years ago where TD Bank actually pulled in all of the platforms into a room and said, hey, there's enough money in this campaign for you all to win. I want you to work together and make this as good as possible for TD's customers, for TD marketing. And so we are trying to recreate that every day in our product as much as we can.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I mean, it definitely, to me, it plays on this idea of agentic as kind of an extension of the team, right? It's not replacing strategists and everything like that, but it's augmenting in ways that are meaningful. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm glad you touched on that, because and hopefully you can see within sort of the interface of our product here, and there's lots of other stuff that you could do. You could ideate on creative or the media plan, get other POVs, do research, and so on. But at every step, we philosophically, I think, are aligned with what you're saying, which is there's no right answer in marketing. So the thought that an AI could write it end to end with no help from humans is actually setting up for fairly average derivative marketing that is like everything else that came before. And so in marketing especially, it's important that you're not trying to replace strategists. You're just allowing them to get the groceries faster, right? So you're providing that POV, you're providing an idea, a different perspective from another agent, let's say, but at all times, it's the strategist that holds the pen on the final version of the brief or the ideas, or gets to select which agent they want to work with that day. And that's an important philosophical point for us, is that we're never replacing, we're always augmenting.
Yeah, I love it. Well, Fab, thanks so much for joining and showing us this. I know there's plenty more to see, but to that point, for those that want to learn more, explore a little bit more, where should they go?
Yeah, 99ravens.ai is where we get demo requests and take on our wait list for customers. And so that's the best way to reach out, other than just find me on LinkedIn.
Great. Well, again, I'd like to thank Fab Dolan, CEO at 99Ravens, for joining the show. You can learn more about Fab and 99Ravens by following the links in the show notes.